you were elected Justice of the Peace at Moody, Texas. And after the election, the Commissioners Court eliminated the Justice of the Peace Constabulary Precinct. Am I correct?
Actually, they voted on it and declared their action before the election, but they didn't do it in time to get it taken off the ballot. Since it was on the ballot, the voters went to the polls, and they only had one election to vote in. And so I was elected because they couldn't vote in the one, and the county judge refused to issue a certificate of election and told everybody, here's your new judge.
That resulted in an extended litigation. Could you describe that briefly for people?
Well, it was interesting. Chief Justice of the 10th Court of Appeals, Tom Gray, wrote in a minority opinion that a person is elected by receiving the highest vote, not by the evidence of a certificate of election. And so he was definitely in favor of ordering the judge to issue a certificate of election. Then I appealed it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court did not issue a written opinion, but to the best of our ability, I could tell is that elected officials don't have any right, because it's the people that get screwed when they pull stunts like this.
Do you foresee similar chicanery in this maneuver? Could you describe that to our readers?
Well, the thing that I pressed the Commissioners Court on tonight is if it was their intent basically to suspend the JP elections, if they modify one precinct, one voting box in the precinct, effectively it's a new precinct, and they would have to appoint a new JP. Now, they may appoint an existing JP to it, or if they don't get along with them, they may appoint one of their buddies or political contributors.
That's not another discussion. What they're talking about is modifying all of the precincts, are they not? Because of elimination of one, you would modify all of them.
That, I think precinct 1 will not change much, but all they have to do is put one voting box in it, and it's a new precinct.
Okay, and then what would the net be there that you suspect?
A lot of political influence to appoint individuals to those vacancies.
How would that happen?
Well, the current office holders, their term of office is up January 1st. If they don't appear on the ballot, actually it's up December 31st, their name's not on the ballot, then there won't be an election, they won't be elected, they won't have an office January 1st.
Okay, how would that position be filled?
By appointment of the Commissioners Court.
Okay, and who would benefit there?
Most likely the political supporters of the Commissioners Court.
And did you say your name is McMacchiavelli?
No.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Randall Scott
Thanks,
Gates.
Legendary, appreciate it. The maps share consolidating precincts 4 and 5. We have candidates on the ballot 4 and 5. So which one's going to, if the Commissioners Court takes action on this before November, which one's going to be on the ballot?
We will ask the Attorney General of Texas for an answer in regard to that question.
We can't hear you.
We will ask the Texas Attorney General and the Secretary of State in that regard.
Still can't hear you.
But ask for an opinion from the representatives in Austin of the Secretary of State's office and the Texas Attorney General.
Well, Judge, I'll give you credit. This is the most masterfully executed scheme I've seen in the time that I've watched the local government. Because I'll tell you how it looks to me. It looks like what you're going to do. Okay, Mr. Gwynn, answer this question. If they modify a district by moving one box in or one box out of that district, will that be considered a vacant district and they'll have to appoint somebody to it? Because it will be a new district.
It could be, and I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, I got a pretty good indication in 2006 of what the answer to that question is. So that's what, gentlemen, I think you're all aware of my opinion on this. Here's what the Secretary of State opinion JWF-18 says. Thus, the boundary lines of the county election precincts, which have been altered by the Commissioners Court, will not be effective until the upcoming voting year. Texas Election Code annotated Article 1.01A defines the voting year as a 12-month period beginning March 1st of each year. Mr. Gwynn, my question for you is, if the commissioners take action and adopt one of the plans, what will be the effective date of the redistricting?
Whenever the court so specifies.
The
The court makes the determination as to the date.
Okay, so the opinion by the Secretary of State about the boundary lines of election precincts is irrelevant. Is that correct?
No. Again, that opinion letter was probably given in response to a specific request, and I haven't read the opinion, and I'd want to look at it before I answer the question.
Well, I'm sorry, because I apologize, because Mr. Morrison said that he was up to speed on Texas election law, and that constitutional law would be your specialty. So,
Well, we try.
well, the Constitution of the state of Texas says from time to time for the convenience of the people. And in 2006, John Segrist wrote a really great opinion about the Ashmore decision, in that he said that the people went to polls in 1983 to amend the Texas Constitution to take the power away from the Commissioners Court to pull a stunt, just like they're doing right now. Okay? And what he said was, if the people didn't care and had granted that authority to the Commissioners Court, they could have left Ashmore the law of the land. But they didn't, and it isn't. So there is a constitutional limitation that the voters took the time in 1983 to go to the polls, cast a ballot, and amend the Texas Constitution, place a constitutional limitation on the government. In your vast knowledge of the Texas Constitution, did I misstate any of that? Is that accurate?
I want a deference to you on the Texas Constitution. My area is the United States Constitution and the Federal Voting Rights Act, but I'll be glad to check that out.
Well, I tell you what, all it would take is one commissioner to stand up and say, I will not be a party to the disenfranchisement of voters. And I know that's not going to happen, but I would encourage you to check with maybe Wendell Cronk and Ray Meadows and see if they really think that's a good course of action. Thank you.